This example is going to show you how to customize each of the codes in my book metadata extraction. This particular one is for month-end report consolidation. When you are creating the document from the book, open up your Microsoft Word document, and you are going to create a document that is going to contain that code, and it will be saved as a macro-enabled document. Notice it's simple here. That means it's macro-enabled. Kmain is the name of the main file. I'm going to open this up so you can see for yourself. In that file, the only thing you're going to have is, you don't even need names consolidated report, but you do need 3 headers. Header 1s. One is going to be goals, the other's accomplishments, and others needs work, because I specifically designed it for these particular headers with those words. And you can change the code. Just do copy the whole code into Notepad and then do find and replace certain words. Now underneath it, and it's just going to be regular text, I have typed first K, the next one is second K, and the third one is third K. Now that is very important. Everything I've shown you so far is very important. If you don't do exactly as I've shown you here, your code will not work, and you'll be disappointed in me and in my book. But if you follow the instructions on how I created that book, you will be satisfied with the end result. Now, of course, I didn't go into detail on telling you how to change everything, but I will try and quickly show you in this example. Let's go ahead and go into the code. You're going to go to the Developer tab, and then down and over to Visual Basic, not macro, but Visual Basic. I write all my codes. I don't use macro recorders to record anything, because it's a bunch of gibberish and junk, stuff that's not necessarily needed. Okay, in this particular one, we don't need to look at any of this. What we need is this line right here. See where you see Document Submitter? Right below that, we need to look at where it says with. Document.Open is what you're looking for, either Open or Documents.Open. That is the main path for where the folders are. The Kmain files is. Let's go ahead and make certain that you understand how to get here. Let's go back here. So on this file, put your cursor there, right mouse button, click, go all the way down to Properties. And this thing opens up. Notice here, I already have it selected, but let's unselect it. The location is very important. There's the name of the file. Here is the location. This location, the full location with the name, must be entered in there. Now, my book does not have this path from my drive, but you need to customize yours based upon where your main folder, your main file is going to be. So I've copied that. We're going back to the code. So here, where you see Document.Open, you would select all of this to the point just before the name of the document and paste it there. And you do the same for the line below it. There are 3 lines that you would do that for. You do it for this one too, and then the last one is here. Okay, so what you're looking for is you're looking for a line that says Documents.Open, and then your path and name of the file. Then with Documents.Open, the path and the name of the file. And the last one is set range equals documents, the path and the name of the file. And the last one that you change on here is this line. Look for Kenny Documents. You're not going to change Kenny Documents. All you're going to change is this. And you're going to paste that same path from here to here. And you're going to add this backslash to the end of it. And now you make certain, the next step is to make certain that your files are DLC and not DLCX. So let's go in here. The way to do that is the 1 and 2 files. We only have 2 files that's going to be extracted in this case. I can add more, but I'm not going to. Do the same thing, Properties, and look at what we have here. It shows you the type of file. It's a DOC file, not a DLCX, because I've saved it as the older version. So make certain that you have the type correct, because it will not work. And notice here, For the K-main files, they're DOCM, because whenever you save something as a macro-enabled file, it becomes DOCM. So let's go ahead and show you how to do that real quick. It's File, Close. Now we're in the main document. It's File, Save As, and see how the extension here, the type, you click here, and you choose macro-enable. There's a file name, and of course you save it. And there you have your name right there. Okay, let's go ahead and run this now. It should work, but before we run it, go up to Developer tab, over to Macros, and let's reduce the size of that. I like to have my module window open on top of my regular Microsoft Word or Excel window. Now you're going to click inside the very bottom, not the top, the function, but the sub code below it where it says Kenny Documents. Make certain that it's inside there somewhere. It should not be below or after the B on the in sub. Alright, now that we're here, I'm going to zoom out. On here, you're going to click Run, and of course, Run Sub User Fund. I'm going to zoom out so you can see what happens when I do it. Okay, let's click it. Okay, this is the first thing that pops up. It opens the first document, the #1 file, which is the Roy Thomas. So I see his name there, and see his goals and accomplishments. I'm going to try and do, well, it's not going to let me, but I'm just going to type his name. Really, I'm going to do this with my right hand, and I'm holding the camera with the left, so it's R-O-R-Y. I don't need his full name. I'm just going to type Rory for this example, and click OK. The next one is James Kistel. So I'm going to type James here, and I could basically take this part of it out, and I can rewrite the code where it would already include that, so there's no typing required at all. Alright, now it's done. There were no error messages. Let's show you what happened. We're still in the K-main file, the main consolidated file, with the Visual Basic. Look at what happened. Under the first K is what was needed for my code, so that it says anything under goals will be extracted and put under goals for both of them. First one is for James Catskill, and his goals is carry water. Now this is an error. It needs to be corrected, but that's easily done. Here's Rory's for goals, and here is accomplishments for James and for Rory. Now needs work. Once again, that's James's. This is Rory's. And that's it. So you see, it actually does work, your consolidation file. Now when you save this file, you're going to save it as a regular file, but you're going to save it under a new name. You should not save over top your K-main file once you put the code in there, or once you type it in there. And just so that you don't lose your code and have to retype all that stuff again, I always encourage people to type your code into a notepad and save it, and then copy and paste it into a module, into a Microsoft Word document, and save it as a macro-enabled file. So that is the end of this tutorial for the consolidation of my. Okay, this next example is to show you how to customize the image importer that will resize them and add 3D effects. This photo right here, let's zoom. Okay, these are the 4 images that will be imported into the Word document and resized and have 3D effects added to them. The image here, let's go ahead and get rid of this one so it doesn't confuse you. Okay, this is the macro-enabled file that we have the VBA code in for the images. Let's go ahead and open it up. It's a blank document right now. As you can see, nothing's there. We're going to go to the Developer tab and over to Visual Basic. In this one, the only thing that you need to change is this line down here. You won't worry about what's up above it. So when you type this from my book, the only part you're going to change is this part. So for instance, go here, flip on any one of them, put them in the same folder as the Macro-enabled document. Go to right-hand mouse, click on it, and go to Properties, and copy the location. First, make certain that they're all JPEGs, and they are. And of course, you see the name of it, which is number 1 up there. So all of them have numbers, and that makes it easy. So come down here, copy this part for the location. You can close that out now. And go back to the code. And here, I've already put it in there, but you would select all the way to here, and you would actually paste. Now, look at what happens. At the very end, you have Other. You need to manually add the backslash. Without that, you're going to get an error message. It needs to be there because that's part of the name. Without that, VBA is not just going to add that for you. So add that, and then once again, notice how it is the full location is between double quotations, and the extension, the file extension, JPEG.jpg, is between file extensions. Then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, which are the names of the images. And let's go ahead and shrink this window, and we are going to go back to the active document. It's called Image Importer 3D Effects. You can name yours anything that you choose. So we're going to open the VBA module window over top this one. We're going to go to Run Sub User Form. I'm going to zoom out so you can see what happens. And it's working. There are no error messages, and as you can see, the images are changing here. See how they're changing on their own? Now that they're done, let's freeze them. Now what you'll have to do is you'll have to manually move them out. Put your mouse on them, manually move them out. And there you go. So that is how the image importer works. Okay, the name of this file is kktemp. This is the email extractor consolidator VBA template, the code that's in my book. It's metadata extraction for consolidating multiple month-end reports, for consolidating multiple emails into like some type of spreadsheet or data source, and it's about image import, but this is the third and last example. Okay, what you do is you create a table in your regular Microsoft Word document. The first should be from, the next one should be to, and then sent, CC, BCC, subject, body. Don't do any of the colons. You don't need those. Make certain that you have at least, you tab until you have 2 empty rows below it. Okay, then what you're going to do is you're going to go into your Developer tab at the top, then down and over to Visual Basic. Let's open it up. You're going to type the code that appears in my book for the smooth code. And we don't need to look at all of this, but what we do need you to do is to zoom in on what we had zoomed in on earlier. Documents.Open, 2 lines, and then the with documents. Let's go to the file. This is the folder that everything is in for the email consolidation. It's in the same folder. What you need to do is on this one or any one of these, just right mouse button click, and then down to Properties, and look for the location. That location must be specifically exact. It must be exact in the Macro-enabled file, or it will not work. So let's go back to the code. Now, Documents. Go here. Select from here all the way into the name, and then paste it there. So up to emails, and then you have the name of the file, which is kktemp.docn, which is because it's saved as a Macro-enabled file. Do the same thing for this line, because this is not in my book. My book has a fictitious file path, so you have to put your specific correct file path that this document is in. And once again, make certain you have your saved emails as text files in the same folder with this macro-enabled document, Word document that you're going to create. Now, the last thing that you do is you go all the way down to the bottom and you do the same thing for here. So here to here. And remember, this, when you copy that path, this last backward slash will not be there, so you have to add that because the code needs that. Without it, it will not work. You will get an error message. So basically, it should look like this. And then you should have the exact file type that it's going to be pulling, which are text files. It's 4 text files, .txt, between quotes, double quotes, just like it is. And then, because the files are saved as number 1, 2, 3, 4, as regular numbers, you don't have to have them between double quotes. Okay. Then it's ready. So what you do is you come down to your File, Close, Return, and then File, Save As, Not. And see how it has a name there? And you click here and you make certain that it is macro-enabled documents. And then you basically just save it. Okay, now let's go ahead and run the code. What we're going to do, while we're in this window, I'm going to go Developer tab again, then down and over to Macros, open this up, and I'm going to shrink the window so that it's on top of the main Microsoft Word window. I'm going to go to the macro module, and I'm going to click Run Sub User Form. I'm going to zoom out so you can see what happens. Okay, see how it opened up the first text file email? And it shows me, there it is, and it shows me an alert box that I programmed into it that shows me what's going to be extracted from it. I'm going to press OK. Then it opens up the next one, and it shows me what's going to be extracted from it. I'm going to press the OK button. There are 4 of them. This is the third one. It shows me what's going to be extracted. Now, I didn't need the alert box to show me what's going to be extracted. I just did that for show, but that can be taken out. This is the 4th and last one. Alright. Here is the result. Let's zoom into it. As you can see, under From, it extracted those under To, person 2, under Sent, date and time, under CC, under BCC, under the subject, and under the body. And that's basically it. So, I hope you've enjoyed seeing this quick tutorial on customizing the codes for the book Microsoft VBA Metadata Extraction, Image Import, and Email Consolidation.